Esther chapter 6, we find Haman again on his way to talk to the king to really kind of get a decision made and permission to just take care of Mordecai right then and there. He was just fed up with Mordecai. He was upset. He was angry. So he goes to the king. The king is having a hard time sleeping. So the king is sitting there, and his scribe, whatever you want to call it, is reading through the events of his life, really, and that's putting him to sleep. So as he's sitting there and listening to really this scribe read what's going on and what's happened, he comes to the story and remembers that Mordecai had saved his life. He says, man, did we ever do anything for that guy? And they hadn't. And Haman comes in. He says, king. The king says, hey, before you say anything, I would ask you a question. And he says, what should be done for the man whom the king delighteth to honor? And he was really saying, hey, we got to take care of Mordecai. I mean, he was really nice. He saved my life. We should do something. Well, Haman automatically assumes that he's talking about him. Pride. He says, well, who would the king want to honor more than me? I mean, we're talking about me here. I'm the best there is. Look who I am. I'm the right-hand man. I'm having dinner with the king and queen. I'm the guy he's got to be talking about. So Haman gets this whole list of all the things he would love to happen to him. Oh, I'll give him the king's garments and put a crown on his head and have a parade for him and have him ride the king's horse and have someone lead the way and say, this is the man who the king wants to honor. And that would be a great idea. And Haman's thinking that he's going to get all this. And then the king says, do all that for Mordecai. I want you to be the one to lead the way. Oh man, isn't that, I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. Well, here's the thing. Pride, just like for Haman, puts us in situations that we don't want to be in. There is nowhere else, okay, that Haman would want to be less than leading Mordecai through the streets, singing his praises. James 4:6 says this, but he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Since pride is completely against the character of God, it's no wonder that he resists it. None of us want to be in a situation that God resists. None of us want to be in that place. But that's exactly where pride puts us. It's pride, selfish pride, that leads to divorce court. It's pride. It's prideful arrogance that leaves us alone. No one wants to be around us. We can't seem to make good friends because of arrogance, because of pride. That's pride. Pride leaves us in chains of addiction. That love of self. Chains of addiction. It's what keeps us there. It's pride that puts us in situations that we don't want to be in. Splits churches. Pride splits churches. Pride is what causes pastors to burn out and fall and just run out of energy. Just pride, trying to keep up, trying to do this and that to impress people. Pride is at the root of almost every sin. Pride puts us in situations that we don't want to be in. Proverbs 11:2 says, when pride cometh, then cometh shame. Pride leaves us locked in that personal room, that hidden room of shame and guilt and regret. Nobody knows who we really are. Nobody knows our secrets. Nobody knows those things. And we're locked in that room of shame. And pride keeps us there instead of finding freedom in Jesus Christ. And that's what humility does. Pride may put us in situations we don't want to be in, but humility brings us into real fellowship with Jesus Christ, a place that you'll never want to leave. That's what humility, true Christ-like humility. God gives grace to the humble. That's what he said. Humility. Listen, some of the worst moments of my life, the worst memories, the worst moments of my life, the most painful situations in my life, most of them have stemmed from pride, from selfish pride in my life. Things I said, things I did, things that happened, just horrible memories, things I did. But I'll say this, on the other side, the greatest blessings that I can remember, the best moments of my life, albeit painful, But the most dynamic changes that God did in me, the blessed feeling of freedom in Jesus Christ, those times in my life, they stemmed from moments of painful humility. Times when I did come clean, when I was honest about who I was. The grace of God, the painful grace of God sometimes, that puts me in situations where it's time to be honest. It's time to fess up. It's time to admit fault. God brings freedom. God brings peace, even in the pain. Being honest about who I really am. It's not easy to do that. Pride doesn't do that. Pride will never do that. Pride says, no, I'm not going to say who I really am. Man, I have to keep up this facade. I have to keep up this reputation. I have to keep impressing people. They can't know that about me. And the lies of the enemy whisper in our ear, and they're so believable sometimes. But that's what pride does. Believes those lies, keeps up the charade. But humility brings us, true humility brings us to fellowship with Jesus Christ. Because you know what we're doing? You know who acted in humility? You know who acted in humility more than anybody else? Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who humbled himself even to the death of the cross. Took upon himself the form of a servant. Jesus, the picture of humility. So when we step into true humility, humility brings death of some kind, like it did for the Lord Jesus Christ. And in our life, humility brings death of maybe our reputation that we built up. It may bring death of ourselves, dying to self. But it's the kind of death that brings new life. Listen, pride puts us in situations we don't want to be in, but humility brings us into real fellowship with Jesus Christ. A place that we'll never want to leave. Don't you want to be in that place?